If you set goals every year and quietly by February you stop, then this video is for you. Not because you're lazy, not because you don't want it enough, but most New Year goals fails because of one boring reason. There is a money leak, an attention leak, or even an energy leak. And in a few minutes time, I will show you a practical way to spot your main leak. No shaming here, no hype, no turning your whole life into a project. Also, if you're seeing this in your feed, then maybe the algorithm took a guess, or maybe you clicked it because something here feels familiar. Either way, you're already here, so let's make it useful. Hi, it's Jashan here, your money guide in GWL, but today we're not talking about money, we're talking and zooming out because it's the new year! So firstly, Happy New Year to you. And this year, if you had enough of that old self that drags whatever goals or didn't accomplish whatever you want to achieve at the start of the year, then this video will do the trick. Because probably as the new year start, you have something or some goals you want to achieve. And this is very usual. In January, we have a clean slate of ourselves. We tell ourselves we have new goals, new routines. But then real life hits. Your work starts to get busier, your school schedule starts and it's hectic. Suddenly, all the family needs that you have pops up. And little do you know, at night, after you come home from a days of work, you tell yourself, maybe just a quick scroll on my phone. But then it turned into a 40 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hour doom scrolling. And if that has been your pattern, I want to say this plainly. This is not your character's problem. This is a default problem. Why? Because your plans that you have for this year is actually sitting on top of the default that you had for last year. And these defaults, they don't negotiate with what New Year intention you have. They simply override anything. So in just a moment, I'm going to share one idea that you can change how you actually plan for 2026. And it's simple. And this beats having a to-do list. It's actually a stop list. Most goals actually start with one question. What should I add for this year? Is it more habits, more discipline, more tracking, or more effort? But if you have tried this method previously for years, yet you don't accomplish your goals, then it clearly shows you that adding more is often the wrong move. End of the day, the goals that you're adding on, there is actually a leak going on. And these leaks, they don't respond to your motivation. They respond to your design. So a better question to ask yourself this year is this. What is quietly draining every single week, even though you have the intention? And that itself is your stop list. So these habits aren't bad. They are just defaults with hidden costs and trade-offs. Not good, not bad, just expensive. Expensive in the sense of money, focus, as well as your recovery time. And once you see this cost clearly, you will regain your control. These are when these three leaks often pop up, either on the money story side, or your attention, or even your energy. So when it comes to money leaks, this is not your stupid spending, but it's spendings that repeats, yet it doesn't match up with what you say matters. It often sounds like this. Oh yeah, I didn't order for delivery, but because I'm tired, I don't want to take so many rides, but I'm running late for time. I didn't plan to spend so much on weekend, but during the weekdays, it's just too draining. I just want to let that go. So whatever it is, these are not crimes. They are just trade-offs. So here's a useful question. What if today your bank app were to speak to you? What would it say you value most? And does this value actually match up with what you think matters the most? And that will identify whether you have a money leak. Now, moving on to the second one, your attention leak. So these are patterns that keeps your mind away. You can start the day with very good and strong intentions. You want to accomplish a few things by the end of the day. But before you know it, your phone notification, the call starts and they pull you away from what your focus was on. And then a quick check suddenly becomes a loop. The hidden cost here is so subtle. Without knowing it, suddenly your day becomes so fragmented. And fragmented days makes your goals even harder to achieve. So in a moment, I will share a 10-second test that you can find out whether you have an attention leak problem. Now moving on to the last, energy leak. These are patterns that drains your capacity, the sleep that never fully recovers, or always feeling that you're lagging behind, and then the household life that runs on your hero mode. Right? And if you're a parent, you totally understand what I'm talking about. And all of these energy leaks don't look like failure, they just simply look like adulthood. And adulthood is quite tiring at times. But when your energy is low, you simply don't choose. You just go into default straight away. That brainless, mindless thinking that goes on to scroll your phone for hours. Whatever it is, we are going to deal with these defaults today. Not new goals, defaults. Quick pause here. Which one of these three leaks is the heaviest or the most expensive to you? Is it money, attention, or your energy? So comment below to let me know what is your leak, because the next part is where we are going to be doing a practical reset. Now, If you stop your goal every year early, then the pattern often looks like this. You set yourself a goal, having some little minor improvement along the way, and then you suddenly hit a hard week, and before you know it, your leg actually expanded. And soon after, you just tell yourself this: I'm just the kind of person that cannot stick to my goals or my plans. But this story is often wrong, because at the end of the day, your plan didn't account for the most important thing, your defaults. So today, we are not talking about pushing harder, but it's about shrinking that leak, shrinking your default. And once all of these leaks or these holes in your container is being filled up, then you have the capacity to start accumulating and becoming the better self for this year. And now I will give you a step-by-step framework, not a life overhaul, just a repeatable way to deal with one bad habit at a time. And here's the framework. You can remember it as a 5-word: notice, name, price, replace, and protect. And these are not a set of rules. This is just a small experiment that you can carry out in your real life. So step number 1, you need to notice. Just pick one week in your life that feels like a real week. Not your ideal week, but your real week. And during this week, you ask yourself this: what keeps happening during this week, even though you didn't plan for it? It doesn't happen once, but it repeats. So it can be your doom scrolling, it can be snacking a lot. Just write it down. Now that we have noticed the concern, the next step will then be number 2, where we name this. What category does this fall in? Is it mostly about money, attention, or your energy? And at this step, we are not diagnosing ourselves, we are just identifying and choosing a system for us to adjust for now. And once that is done, we move on to step 3, where we price it. No, I'm not talking about pricing in terms of dollars and cents, but I'm talking about consequences. And this is the step that most people skip because they jump straight into disciplining. That doesn't work out. Instead, what we want to do is find a calmer approach than disciplining yourself. Then it's more sustainable. So ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1, what does this habit give me right now? Does it give me relief, convenience, escape, control, or even some social connections? And then the second question to ask is this: what will this habit cost me later on? Is it stress, lack of sleep, losing patience, or having slower progress? So now, once we have identified the benefits as well as the cost, then something changed. You will stop fighting yourself, because now it's about, instead of you fighting yourself, you start seeing the trade-offs. And trade-offs can be redesigned, and that's the good thing. And here comes step 4, replace. Now that we have identified as well as placing a trade-off, we can then replace it. And replacement doesn't mean you completely remove out joy. It simply means reducing the leak without creating a new burden. So instead of having hand rules that you must follow, choose a support system that encourages you to stick to the new plan and stay on track. So here are a few examples. So if your leak is on subscription spending, then first step is to list down all of these items that you are doing on a recurring basis. And then number 2, imagine tomorrow all of these subscriptions have ended. Which of these will you choose to reactivate it? That will be your support. Now, if your leak is on convenience spending, then you choose maybe 2 to 3 days that you are allocating for convenience. Now, this will make your spendings a decision and not a drift. And if you're like me, your leak is on doom scrolling, then you need to find a support where you have a place to park your phone during certain intervals, maybe during dinner, shower time, or even 30 minutes after you have put your kids to sleep. And if you're a parent, you know what I mean. Now, if your leak is on energy, where you always feel very tired because there's so many commitments, one of the support you can think about is whether you can remove one of these commitments for just 3 months. Not completely, but just for 3 months as a test bed. Now, the idea of this support is simple. Goals in general are big and very ambitious, and at times it can be a bit daunting if you suddenly see that, oh, I need to reach this goal at this point of time. But right now, what we want to do here is not to achieve or demand perfection. We are just changing the easiest default. And once we start changing, we need to move on to step 5, which is to protect this system that you have in place. We need something that is realistic and there's a rhythm to it, and that's where we have to incorporate tracking systems. Now, you can do daily check-in if possible, but if it's too tedious or too much, because at times it may seem like your real life is like a performance, then switch from daily to weekly or even fortnightly. That should help you to ease a bit of this unnecessary tension. And during this protect segment, you need to ask yourself one simple question: did I do better than last week? Is my leak getting smaller and better than last time? If the answer is yes, then good, you have a progress. But if the answer is a no, then we have a bigger leak to deal with. At the end of the day, the first step to change is actually awareness. So with awareness plus being mindfulness of your actions, that's when change is actually going to be possible, and very soon it will come. Now, here's a question that reveals the real issue. What benefits are we buying with your leak? Convenience, relief, escape, control, or even connections. This may seem small, but it's very important. Because once you know what is the benefit you are going after, then we can look for a lower cost alternative for this. It's like telling yourself, I want to save money, but you only know of the first approach, which is to earn more. But it's not necessary that you earn more. Another way you can go about to reach your goal, which is to save more, is actually to spend lesser. And now you know what is blocking you. We need to find out what is the leak. So here are 3 fast tests that you can identify what is your main leak. So to test for the money leak, here's what we will do. Look at your past 10 transactions, and out of these 10, how many were convenience spending and recovery spending? This is not to pinpoint and saying you are wrong, but these are just information about how you are treating your money. And if you're not sure about your expenses, then it's about time to start tracking it. So you can use your Excel, you can use traditional expensing tools, but if it's so troublesome, then you might want to consider using Buddy, which is our free tool that is available for everyone around the world to make tracking expense as easy as chatting with a friend. And this friend helps you to become a better money manager. What's not to have? So there's no new apps, there's no hassle to track your expenses with so many blanks to fill. And more importantly, you can find this in your Telegram, WhatsApp, or even Line with either a one-liner text, a photo of your receipt or your bank statement screenshot, or even using a voice function. Because end of the day, expense tracking is very important. It's the first step to a lot of things. But if you don't do it, if it's a hassle, so there's no new apps for you to download, there's no hassle when it comes to filling so many blanks for just one entry. And more importantly, you can find this in places that you are already using, like Telegram, WhatsApp, or even Line. Simply put a one-liner text, or taking a screenshot from your bank statement, or taking a photo of your receipt. And lastly, you can even use a voice function to talk to Buddy. At the end of the day, we want to make expense tracking as easy as possible, just like how we can achieve our goals in this year. Alright, so the number 2 test you can go about is for your attention. So right now, if you have 2 free minutes, I know you're watching this video, but imagine right now you got 2 minutes. Will you automatically reach out for your phone? If the answer is yes, then yeah, you have an attention leak. And number 3, the energy test. Think of the things that you do, especially when you come home from a tiring day. What is the thing that you do more? Do you do more scrolling on your phone, or do you spend more, snack more, sleep more, or avoid everything else? So by answering these questions, you can identify which of this is your main leak. And the truth is this, you have your leak, I have my leaks, and it's common. And often we tell ourselves this is a bad leak, but that's it. We seldom think about how can we turn this bad habit into a good habit. Yet, we are always thinking of layering it on top of new things, which doesn't help you. The defaults are still the same. And in the end, this bad habit is just a way we cope with the stress, the burden, the pressure. It is a good thing. So if something is actually helping you to deal with and surviving a tough season, then you don't go and attack it or destroy it aggressively, right? We just need to price it in gently. And this is where you need to ask yourself 2 questions. Number 1, what is this bad habit trying to make me feel less of? And is there a lower cost way where I can get the same relief? By doing this, you'll respect yourself more, and it also keep the change realistic. So for example, if your goal this year is to save consistently so that you have money to invest for the years ahead, but the leak is this, your weekend spending splurges up way faster than you expected as compared to weekdays, because the weekdays are so draining. Then the benefit you're trying to achieve is to relieve your tension during the weekdays, and also to have a social connection with your friends and family. Now, in order to get this benefit, you're costing yourself to spend more and creating unnecessary money stress at times, and that your progress of saving and building your wealth over the years is going to slow down. So you need a support system that goes something like this. Keeping the social part intact where you meet your friends, but in order to do this, let's find a way for us to spend lesser or even do activities that are free. It can be doing activities like cycling or even having a potluck picnic near the beach or the park. The end goal is not to become a boring person if your goal is to save money, but just being intentional of where you're spending your money. So, if you're planning for this year and you have not done so, this is the order you should go about thinking. Choose one goal that you want to achieve. Identify one leak that is contradicting it. You notice it, you name it, you price it, you replace it, and lastly, you protect this new system with a simple check-in. Not because you should, but because you want this year to be the real year of real changes, real improvements. So if you're somebody that keeps starting a goal every single January, but you fall short in February or March, I hope this gives you a different starting point. Not more pressure, but a cleaner design. So two things you need to do. Firstly, comment what is your leak that you're trying to achieve this year. And number two, since this video is useful, do share with your friends and family that you have identified their leaks for them. Send this to them and challenge them that this year accomplish that goal that they have never accomplished previously. They will thank you later for this. So if you like this kind of calmer as well as practical framework, as well as me sharing my experiences in how I deal with money, then follow me for more and subscribe to the channel because this year is not about hype, it's just clarity that you need. Let's start the year with one smaller leak and it will benefit you in the long run. So I look forward to journeying with you in your money journey and to make money less scary, less avoidance, and end of the day, help you reach your money goals for short term as well as long term. If you have any concerns, questions, or things you would like to be addressed, do comment below so that I can help you to achieve what you want to achieve this year. Till then, I wish you a happy new year and may this year be the year we turn things around. My name is Xiaxuan. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.